Good morning, HPQ. How are you?
Good morning, good morning. I'm just about awake.
Ain't we just? Oh, it's been mad.
Just awake. It's been crazy, but it was good. It's a good session. Always when you do these kind of things,
Mm,
you have to be prepared to be up late.
indeed,
So that we
indeed,
were struggling. Got
indeed.
things to do. But the She Spin session was on yesterday to celebrate International Women's Day or Week, as
Hmm.
we say. And the session's going to continue today. Now, the session is supposed to start from 12 p.m., but unfortunately, we might have to skip the afternoon session for all sorts of reasons that I'm not going into. And we may start kicking it off from 4 p.m. with Lady B on the set, but we're still trying to work that out at the minute because there's some things that have come in and mixed things up. But it's going to be definitely happening today from 4 p.m. That's going to kick off with Lady B, and then we've got DJ Max at 5:30, and then we might have myself from 7 p.m. in place of Dawn G, who's not very well, bless her little cotton socks. Then we've got the wonderful DJ Kathy on at 10:30, and then we've got DJ Sparkle again at 10 p.m. to end the proceedings, and
To,
that
to liven up everybody,
to liven up everybody
to
before they
wake
go to bed.
everybody up in the middle of the night before you go to bed.
Do you know what Sparkle playing is like drinking a can of Red Bull? You know what I mean? At 11 p.m. just before you're going to actual bed. But she's absolutely brilliant. Wicked set yesterday. Wicked set from all the female selectresses, to be quite honest with you. Honestly, it was just different genres of music that you could just bounce in and out of and
Mm,
enjoy. And hearing some tunes, I'm telling you,
yeah.
and my favourite, I'm sorry all the DJs, sorry, but my favourite was when Delight played the Aletta Adams tune that I hadn't heard for centuries. And yeah, that really spiced me up, I should say. Good morning, everybody. Let me do a bit of a roll call on. This is SharkyDJ's Mixcloud. MBE, Davy J. Good morning to you, sir. Grand Rising, back to you. Black Pearl, it was so good to see you the other day. I think it was on Saturday we saw you. Lovely to see you. Le Bon Brothers, this is a
Mm.
first for me. Good morning. Cheryl A. First Lady as well. Who else have we got on? Kimmy Kim. Melly Mel, you're back. I thought you deserted her for Pablo's show. I'm going to give her a stick for that. You know I'm only messing about with you, darling, and big love to you also. I see Kimmy Kim's on my platform also. Good morning. I haven't seen Wolf Michael Vista, although
He
he
was
was in
on like
yesterday.
he was on late last night, so maybe he's still asleep.
Yeah, where are you, Wolf Michael? Where
He's
are you? And Uncle Gucci is on. Oh, good morning, Uncle Gucci. And Lady AJ. So good morning to the silent listeners as well. Well, we are back for the Breakfast Flight show. Gosh, it's going to be a short one today for me. But what's been going on? Huh? What's been going on
with what?
with the news in the world?
Oh gosh, so much. I was actually gonna read out something today, and something else came up. Something I saw, which I was gonna bring up. I've lost it. I've completely lost it. Yeah, completely lost it.
It's gone. Well, I'll tell you what I will do. I will talk about a film because I do my film reviews,
Hmm.
and I like to try and watch like true to life films or films that have
Yeah.
meaning, and stumbled upon a film called Still Alice, and it's about a woman. She's a professor in her own
Hmm.
right, very super intelligent, and she contracts Alzheimer's. Quite an early age.
Hmm.
I think she's in her early 50s, late 40s, or something like that.
Hmm.
And the film depicts her decline from being a professor, and then little things that she started forgetting, like she was jogging one day and did not know where she was. She just looked around and thought, I don't know where I am. And said that she stopped recognizing people sometimes or forgetting little bits and pieces. It was having an effect on her teaching. And it
Hmm.
was just talking about the role with her in the family and her husband and being sat at home and being an intelligent woman, and then obviously seeing a decline and not being able to speak, not being able to get your words out. It must be horrible. It's like
Yeah.
slowly your brain is dying and you've absolutely got no control over it whatsoever. And even her husband, the effect on him, you'd expect them to be really loving and carefree, and they don't know what to do. They don't know how to handle it. Outbursts, it's hard. It's hard, and it was just probably round about getting old. It's no
Mm.
fun getting old. Yeah, you get wiser, you got more wisdom to impart on your children and your grandchildren. But I'm trying to work out all the benefits here. Your body's
of getting old.
yeah. What is the
Do
benefits
you
of
know
getting
what?
old? Your body actually starts to break down.
Oh, tell me
So
about it. I mean,
I'm
this
so
morning, yeah, go on.
go on, sorry.
I was saying this morning, I think it was Cheryl was saying I'm there dancing on screen, and yeah, I was dancing, but getting old, I've got this frozen shoulder, and I'm like dancing and stretching it because I can only lift it a certain amount, and I've got to keep exercising. So the best way is to dance. So see, I'm disappearing in the background there. Let me see if I can sort out this lighting a bit. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's you're getting old. It's a bit worrying, really. It's very important as well that your children are there. I said to my daughter, make sure that you are there looking after me,
Come check on me
and my
every
son.
day, please.
Listen, they're going to be living with me, mate. Come in my house, so I'll come into your house to live. To my days out.
Well, and it really, when you think about all the people that are on their own, or old people that are living by themselves who have Alzheimer's, who have nobody else to look out for them,
Yeah,
wandering the streets or doing whatever. And of course, we know what's happening in the world right now, especially in the UK, where services are being cut left, right, and centre. And the
yeah.
services that are being cut are for the elderly and for the young.
Mm,
They're the ones that are going to be massively impacted. So, watching that film made me realise, my God, we've got a whole nation of old people that are just not going to get looked after, that cannot afford to go into a care home. Who's going to look
yeah,
after them? I'd hate to think that my mum was on her own and nobody's there to look after her. Sorry,
yeah.
still got this cold, and no one's there to look after her. What would happen? And so, we've got to check on our people.
We
And even
do.
what
We
happened with Gene
definitely do.
Hackman and his wife, nobody discovered them for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Their
Sad that
bodies were
was.
partially mummified. 3 weeks their bodies
So
went
sad.
undiscovered
So
for, and
sad
that's
indeed.
really sad.
Mm.
When anyone's been left a long time undiscovered, that just shows nobody's looking out for you. Nobody cares enough to come and check on you. Get some caring friends, man.
There are people that care, and as you get older, I think having friends that you talk to all the time, even people that you just talk to regular. Because some people say, I don't need no one, I don't need this, and I don't need that, until something goes wrong and you're just lying there for 2 days and you can't, help. I mean, it was like a couple of weeks ago, as you know, I slipped and I was at my place there, and I literally lay down on the floor and I couldn't move, and I got up and just went to bed, and I hit my head, as you know, and just
Which I
went
was
to
very
sleep.
annoyed at.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was, but I just went to sleep, and I could have just gone like a couple of days, and
exactly.
and no one would have known. So yeah, it's important to have people check up on you
There you
regular.
go. And especially if we'd have had an argument, I would have rang you for days. You could have been lying in your bed for days.
Been lying there for days, and it's too late. With mummified by the time you find me, you know. Oh dear, you know.
Oh my God, I was going to say something funny there, but let me leave that. That's not funny. I was going to say, make sure you sign over your pension first before you go
I
and collapse.
No, it's all right. That's funny. Listen, I do have a sense of humour.
Ah,
It's
I keep
important to have
talking
a sense
about
of
that.
humour as well.
But listen, when we come back after this track, I want to talk about the future of AI. The
Oh
future's
dear,
bright on one side, and the future is dim on
dark
the
on the
other. I'm
other.
going to bring you
Yeah,
some news.
gonna be talking about AI as well. Yeah. Uh, Rest in peace, God. Rest in peace. Rest in eternal peace. Roy Ayers brought some great tracks.
He certainly did, certainly did. It's so sad about all these greats that just passed in one week.
One
That
after
was,
the other.
I know, it was so difficult to get my head around that, all of that. And
Mm,
also with Angie Stone also. I've got a great little clip about Angie Stone talking about her time, I think it was with Universal. I need to find it. I can't even find it right now. And it was almost like a little conspiracy theory going on about, there's always a conspiracy theory when someone
mm,
passes. Is it has it got anything to do with the record label? Were they involved at any point in time?
mm,
Michael Jackson was one of the biggest conspiracy theories. Everyone thought that he was labelled as a paedophile
mm,
massively. And then we realised what Sony was, I think it was Sony, what they were doing and how they owned all the rights, or they wanted the rights from Michael Jackson. And you've got other artists that just, how does that happen? How does
I
it
mean,
happen that
yesterday
they
I
get
was
away with it?
watching. that a documentary on TLC, and such an early stage in their life, excited, three girls excited, and signed the contract. Of course, they didn't. They obviously didn't read it. They just signed it because obviously, you didn't get the advice that you needed, and obviously they sold millions and millions of tracks. They wrote their own tracks, and then they realized that nothing belonged to them. Everything belonged to the record company. And we was talking about this yesterday, saying that, the government should do something about these record companies getting youngsters, especially if they're underage, to sign their rights away and all their catalogue away, not knowing, not getting the right advice from the record company, letting them know what they were letting themselves into. And it was like a trap, doing all this. So imagine doing all this work and getting absolutely nothing for it. I think there should be some kind of compensation that they put to them, because, it's just disgusting, really. And it happened to Angie B with the Sequences. Yeah, she signed to Sugar Hill, and back in the day, they were the very first female rap group, very successful, and realized that nothing belonged to them. And, after making 3 albums, they walked away with absolutely nothing. And, it's a sad situation, really.
It is, and it's quite good that you brought that up, because I've got this clip. It's about a minute and a half that Angie Stone was talking about her publishing. Just have a listen to this.
A lot of my publishing, a lot of my royalties, my mechanicals, they have all pretty much been stolen. After 40-something years in the business, I'm like, where are my royalties going? Because I'm not getting this. Come to find out, Universal Music has been receiving all my royalties, all my mechanicals. They've taken pretty much everything. They've stolen, I won't say stolen, but they have taken all the monies that were due to me. They have basically absorbed in that company, even though there's several class action lawsuits, people that were working on my behalf never even registered the songs. All the songs that I've done, I'm only coming to find out they were not properly registered by the companies that I signed over to, people that were supposed to do their due diligence. So I'm truly a walking testimony that God has carried me all this time, because if you only knew how much money they have taken from me, how much they have stolen from me, monies that I'm supposed to be, I should have been able to retire 20 years ago with the money I've made. So I'm just here to let you know, one way or the other, Universal Music, you're going to have to give up my coins. And so what I'm doing now is whatever is necessary to make sure they pay me for the legacy of my life, for my children and my grandchildren. They're going to have to give.
Wow. Yeah. And it's something that has happened to so many.
That was in December.
And this happened with so many artists. I mean, we know with Puff Daddy that he'd signed a lot of artists and they'd signed away a lot of their rights as well. Happened with, what's the artist, the rapper that turned a Christian? Mace, yeah. So it's something that, it happens on a regular with a lot of these artists. And, I think something should definitely be done about it.
It's scary. It's scary when you find the artists come out and start talking about their royalties and their publishing masters and things, and all of a sudden 6 months later they're gone.
Yeah.
And no one's asking any questions. And, car accidents, falling off hotel ledges,
Plane crashes,
dying in baths, drowning in a bath, plane crashes. It's just, sometimes it's all a bit too coincidental, a bit too easy for someone to pass and go. And we know in this day and age that anybody can make anything happen. We've all seen these super spy films, people come in and put some poison in, all these films that I've watched, especially Anna, that great action movie. These things can happen, man.
Yeah.
You could easily poison someone and get away with it, I reckon.
Definitely.
Well, you could. I could go onto the darknet, buy some Rohypnol, walk into a club, right, that I don't normally go to. As I'm passing with people leaving their drinks all by the side, put a few drops in there, wait outside for that person to come out, if they're collapsing, or if you know they're by themselves. Because people scan clubs and see which women's by themselves. What woman's drunk enough? Who can I target?
Yeah.
I wouldn't just say women, men as well. So it's
Yeah.
easy to take someone out.
Yeah.
Gone.
Venergy's just said that the record companies dazzles them with advances and baffle them with contracts that are actually not in their best interest. That's absolutely correct, because they do get this advance of how much money that they have to pay back. They have to make the money and pay back, and more on top.
It's like China building in Jamaica, right? They got all these promises. We're going to build. We're going to give you this, and it's a debt they're never going to be able to repay back. That's it. They've got this. I've given you a 200,000 advance, but that advance has to pay for your clothes. It has to pay for your hairdressers. It has to pay for your stylists. It has to pay for the marketing of your music. So whilst it seems like a lot of money, probably about 150 of that or 175 of that is going on those services. Then you've got their equivalent of the tax man, the IRS, that are on their backs that they have to pay a percentage to, which is quite a bit of chunk of money. Now, you're right. Now, terms and conditions, it's something I actually want to get a petition going for. And I'm not just talking about terms and conditions in music, just terms and conditions, period. I got some insurance the other day, and I got a booklet with the terms and conditions. Now, who is going to read that? I mean, you've got to put on your glasses and read through 112 points. 112 points that you've got to take notice of. And I'm sure at some stage when you want to make a claim, they're going to go, point 56, point 2.07 says that you can't do this. And then they tell you, well, you should have, it's in the terms and conditions.
Yeah. I mean,
we don't need a whole novel for terms and conditions. We need basic terms and conditions that tells us what we're entitled to, what we're not entitled to, and what's going to happen if we do this.
In the event of, yeah.
In the event of. Does it need 4,000 pages? No. Does it need baffling Latin language?
No.
Mea culpa and all sorts of things going on? No, it doesn't. And what are the mitigations for people that blind or can't read or write properly or cannot take in these sorts of information? I mean, what help do they get? And how does it stand its day in court when a judge says, well, you didn't read the terms and conditions? Well, I can't read, judge. So what? You should have had some help. Well, I think the onus should be down to the record labels to make it clear and concise and know what people are buying into. After all, if we buy a product, we can argue a case down to the bone, but with a record company, it seems not. Oh, Melly Mel, what's going on? Listen, I'm celebrating International Women's Day, right? I'm the biggest supporter of women that there is. That was a complete joke, because we saw in the Mixcloud chat room that you were saying, what time's Pablo's show going on? I'm going to skip over to that room. So I mentioned it as a joke. You're going to go. So people, if you're going to pass on the news, pass on the right news, yeah? Don't cause no damage where I have to go and do damage limitation control. Come on, Melly Mel, you know it's nothing but pure love for you, my darling. Always appreciate you popping into our shows. Of course, anybody coming in, more than pure love.
One thing I can say at HPQ, she does support women all the time, and she's very much an advocate of women. So I would imagine that I think I heard a bit about that. I think I was half asleep when that was going on there. So yes, but changing the subject a bit, where did you get the idea of She Spins? I actually like that name, because I looked at actually when you did the promotion, I actually didn't see it, but She Spins, and I noticed it's she. Yeah, that was actually a good promotion name, actually.
I have no idea. It just came to mind because I think they're talking about spinning on the decks all the time, and we're females, so she spins.
Ah.
So it's a bit of a tongue twister, isn't it? It's 3 S's. She Spins Sessions. If
Yeah,
you've had a drink, you might come out with sessions. You might
dear.
come out with that. Now, just before the break came in, we were talking about Kimmy Kim says passa passa. Yes, it is passa passa.
Listen,
I'm not calling out people's names.
We love Melly Mel.
Melly Mel, if I had a problem with you, I'd give you a call. I would pick up the phone and give you a call. I'm not going to get upset if you're not in my Mixcloud. Come on, I'm not that crazy. Sorry, I'm giggling. I just find it a little bit funny because I know that it was just meant as in pure jest. But anyway, let's move on, chat room. Hopefully, Melly, I'll give you a big hug, and a virtual hug is coming to you, Melly Mel. But bear love. But anyway, we were talking about AI and the future of AI. Now, you were talking about ChatGPT putting something in. Listen, ChatGPT, remember I talk about AI Subscribe? Remember that?
Yeah.
All my meeting notes, it packages it for me and I just have to just update. Then ChatGPT, you can put attachments, well, not so much attachments, but you can extract text or data, give it to ChatGPT and say, do something with this, or whatever it is you want it to do, summarize, highlight the top 3 key risks if you want to. ChatGPT will do it. But what's happening with ChatGPT is limited. All right,
Yeah.
you have to go into the plus if you want it to do all the extra bits and pieces and get all excited about it. But I do use ChatGPT and Gemini, the Google Gemini, and it's so funny because I threw the same question into ChatGPT and Gemini, and they both come out with some different answers. So
Yeah.
you've got to be careful because all AI does is pick from the vast amounts of information there is on the internet. And if you notice as well, whenever you're doing a Google search and you ask a question, it will have an AI summary first. And then the AI summary will give you the source of where it actually came from. But there's an AI summary first and foremost. So that's where AI is going. Now, another place AI is going is this. Now, is this really the future? Let's take a look at this.
See your future baby with AI. Incredibly lifelike and just click away.
Oh, darling, don't you ever grow. Don't you ever grow. Just stay this little. Oh, darling, don't you ever grow. Don't you ever grow.
Wow.
So there's an AI tool, right, where two people, like it could be just me and you, we want to have kids and we want to know what it's going to look like. AI.
Wow.
But what if it's one? Because I don't say children are ugly, because children grow into their looks, their eyes are the same size from when they're born as how they are as an adult. So that's why some children's eyes look massive, right? Because your eyes are the same size as you grow through your adulthood. They don't get bigger or smaller. They are the size that they are.
Yeah.
So what if you don't like what your child looks like with the man that you're with? And that could cause some issues, Seriously, I wouldn't like to. In fact, it's almost like the tick list of when you meet someone. Let me put him through AI photo editor, and see what our children would look like. If he's not going to come out too good, he's going to have to move.
But you can actually test it, right? Because you can actually just get, if you've got a partner, past partner, put it in AI and see what the kid's supposed to look like. See if you get a jacket or not. So wait a minute, this is what my kid's supposed to look like, and then you start putting the AI with all the friends and say, okay, wait a minute, this kid's look like this one don't belong to me.
In fact, you'll be doing that on the first date, just putting him through AI editor. This is what our child would. No, we're not going out on a second date.
No.
Not making it. No.
Is that what my child gonna look like? No, it's all right. See ya. Oh dear.
But what if AI got it wrong and they think that your child's going to come out looking like this perfect child to come out looking something else? You're going to sue AI editor? No, but we mustn't laugh at people's children. Children are children. All children are beautiful. All of them are, seriously. And we mustn't take ourselves too seriously there. But no, it's difficult. And you know what I saw yesterday as well, an advert for, is AI assistant or AI executive. Now, this is where the film comes into it, that film Her. Now, this virtual AI assistant will go through your email, sort out what the most important emails are, delete ones that are spam, reply to your messages, put meetings in your calendars, and will tell you what you're doing for the day, and could change around your calendar for you. Basically, you can program it to sort out your life. So the role of executive assistant is dying because we have AI that can do so much more. That can sort out your diary in seconds, and not. It used to, when I was an executive assistant, it would take me all day looking out for their diaries and moving meetings into slots where there's no slots and trying to work things out. Get AI.
Yeah.
I'm telling
AI
you, guys.
Sounds like it's the way forward, isn't it?
It is the way forward. And Lady B says, if your man feels the real child doesn't look like the AI version, he might reject the child and say it belongs to another man. I'm telling you, all sorts could happen there. That's dangerous.
It is. Oh,
it's
gosh.
dangerous.
HPQ.
Oh, it's already 9:18, and my time is up at 9:30 today, so apologies that I've only got limited time on here. But one of the news articles I wanted to speak about today was this grandmother that's been has been waiting 12 years for execution on death row. Do you remember this story about the cocaine grandmother? What was her name? Lindsay Sandyford. And she was arrested in 2012, right, for trying to smuggle a suitcase with 4.8 kilos of cocaine into
Thailand.
Bali from
Bali,
Bangkok.
Bali. But yeah.
So she was from North Yorkshire, I think it was, and she was in possession. That 4.8 kilos of cocaine was estimated 1.6 million worth of drugs. That was the market value way back in 2012. So that was a lot of drugs that she was bringing in. And obviously she was then sentenced to death by firing squad, you know. God almighty, they don't mess about there. A year later.
Don't.
No, they don't. Now she's 68 years old and she spent 12 years behind bars at this prison in Bali. Now, I don't believe killing anyone is ever right. I know there's circumstances where you just think they need to die, but I don't think that's not my job to make that decision or whether someone should live or die. And I say that for anyone even that commits those kind of atrocious crimes as well. But what's even more distressing is I suppose that you commit a crime and you're sentenced to death and then you spend the next 12, 15 or 20 years waiting to die. You know, I'd rather can you just get it over and done with, please? Just let me go, you know. But firing squad, I don't know. But I think...
So is she still up for it?
Yeah, apparently it's quite imminent now. And what they're saying is that the British government have point blank refused to help secure even a competent lawyer that can help prepare what's known as what they call a PK, a prison kill. Which it's almost like when they're going to die and they get their family, they know what they're having for their last meal and all that. But she hasn't had a proper lawyer or one that speaks English. And I'm not saying that she deserves it. Does she deserve it for what she was trying to bring in? You know, that cocaine she brought in could have been some cocaine that your children could have taken that could have killed them. So in no way am I advocating what she's done. I'm not saying her sentence is so harsh. I'm just thinking if someone's going to be sentenced to die, then let's just go. 12 years to wait, and then it's by firing squad? I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what everybody else thinks. Should she just languish in jail for drugs, or should she die?
I don't think she should die. I think maybe just a long-term jail sentence or for the rest of her life or whatever. Because obviously, you know, they say if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. But to kill somebody, like, well, she hasn't killed anyone, potentially, but she's only doing what lots of other people are doing. I don't think anybody's got the right to take a life of someone. Put them in prison, you know, let them stay there and rot. But murder, that's just like murder itself to me.
Yeah, I know, it's difficult. And I think, you know, to steal lawyers, you need money and thousands of pounds, especially if you want an English lawyer travelling to Indonesia to go and see her. And all that money has to be raised, you know. But maybe these are things you need to think about before you start to say, yes, I will smuggle 1.6 million worth of cocaine and think that you can get away with it. The risk is it far outweighs the pleasure, I would say.
And the other thing as well is obviously if you go into another country, especially a country like that, they've got their own laws. You can't expect Britain to come and save you. You know, if you go into somebody else's country and you do the crime, yeah, they've got different rules to the UK. We're quite spoiled in this country in terms of what we can get away with and what we can protest against. You know, it is good. That's why people want to come here, because people have rights. But a lot of those places, you know, once you mess up, that's it.
Well, remember the Julian Assange? He was the founder of WikiLeaks. And that, that exposed some of America's top secrets or whatever, and they went after him. And he spent how many years in an embassy in London? How many years?
I can't remember. X amount of years. They couldn't go in and get him because obviously that's the property of the country that they're, whichever. I can't remember which country it was. But he spent a good amount of years in there, didn't he?
But neither could he come out.
No, he couldn't.
Because if he'd stepped out through the door.
Then, so he had to stay that part there. And, you know, apparently, But that's how it goes.
That's life. Don't do the crime if you can't do the time.
Exactly. Yes. I'm going to bring my mask with me when I walk in that place, and you know what I mean? Bring me some smelling salts in case I pass out or something like that.
Anyway, this has been a very short breakfast flight show for me. I have to go and do some bits and pieces and sort some things out. So my end point is at 9:30 today. And just wanted to say thanks to everyone who joined the stream yesterday again. Once again, it's going to be on again today from 4 p.m. running on HPQ 2020. Oh, sorry, HPQ Mixcloud and Facebook. HPQ 2020, and of course we got all the DJs lined up for today. We may get Jazzy P back on today. Seeing a message from her, I would love that. Thank you so much. But of course, proceedings will kick off with Lady B at 4 p.m. today. Now, very quickly, Sharky DJ, you were talking about women and going out with shoes. And that they come out and they look all lovely, and then they got their flat shoes or whatever on. Or we need something, don't we? Because you know, it's whilst shoes are very nice, right? You men can have different shoes, but they don't squeeze your foot like these high heel shoes. You know, your foot doesn't have to go at an angle like this, some right angle for 8 hours of the night or something. So it does take its toll on your Achilles heels and all sorts of things. So, you know, we have to come in looking pretty and leave looking cash.
Yeah.
But, you know, there's some shoes out there that maybe we need to market a little bit more. I can't remember if I've shown this clip before, but have a look at this clip. This is very interesting, and maybe something that's marketable. That again. That shoe folded away. It was a heel, and then you tucked the heel in once your foot was getting too tired. Packed it up and you got a flat shoe. You haven't got to carry an extra bag.
So you see, what happens is that the lady's this tall, like towards the man. Then she takes your shoes off and then bam. Oh, brilliant.
Cheryl A says, my high heel days are over. Embrace the flats. Listen, I'll tell you what, COVID put an end to high heel shoes. Jack's Happy says, show again. Okay, I'm going to show one more time, ladies. Have a look at this. I should have slowed it down, right?
Maybe you should
when I come back on next week, I'm going to find the proper full ad.
Yeah, and find out where they can buy these shoes, and maybe you can get one and demonstrate it. See if I can find one for you.
Get my foot on screen.
Get your foot on screen. Like, the video as you're walking. That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, Lady B says, I need them. Verona Green says, I like them. Ladies, it's a game changer. It's a complete game changer. So I'll do a little bit of research for you ladies, and let's see if I can bring on next week. Let's see if we can find a pair. Let's see if I can get to find and buy a pair and see. But Verona says, still can't wear them, though.
Oh,
you can try.
Let's dress up.
But listen, good morning, everybody. Have a beautiful, blessed morning. Remember, it's independent. I keep saying that. International Women's Week Day. Have fun. Know your power. Know your worth, and keep loving yourself and each other. I'll see you next week. I'll see you later.
Yes.